All right, let's do a test. Okay, we're doing a mic test. Yes, seems okay. All right, I see Costan here. Also, my brother, nice to see you. I hope everybody else is coming as well. I've invited everyone. Let's see where we go from here. There is one thing I want to double check before I say anything. 1 second. Let me just quickly check something. All right. Okay. So, thank you very much for everyone for coming to the show. Welcome back. Another weekly session. You can ask me anything, just not any personal questions, but yeah, it would be awesome. So let's carry on with this. Today, I want to talk about one thing, especially like a correlation. You know, you may have heard this before, where cryptocurrencies are correlated with the stock markets. But I want to give you a different perspective on this, more of a macro perspective. And this is going to go a very, very long time. So it would be nice to know if there's anyone here who was born before the 1970s, because we are going to talk about the 1970s and probably a little bit more way back before this as well. So this is in detail. We want to talk about how things work, how the financial markets have played out, how we've had this massive decades long a bull market, you can say, and then a bear market, um, and how the financial market reacts to this. So it's very important for us to actually observe all of this and see if we can find some sort of a correlation in the crypto sphere as well. That's what we're going to look at. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump into the chart that we have today. Let me quickly just check something. All right. Costan, how are you doing, my brother? UK? Thank you very much for coming to the show, coming early. All right. So let's do this. So this is a very simple chart. All we've got is moving average, 50, 200. That's all we're playing with. We've got it on the daily, got the VPVR just to show you volume profile and tell you where we could see significant resistance zones. So we can see we have a massive, massive wall around here where we have this imbalance area. And we need to beat all of this in order for us to be positive. So obviously for us, if we are going to start thinking, okay, when do we confirm we're going to be bullish again? Sadly for us, that means we have to get to around 50k, possibly, yeah, 45 to, yeah, 45k, $45,500. If we can get into this zone, then we're super solid. If we can get above this 48, 49,000, so it's here, sorry, I haven't got my glasses, that's where we know we're almost getting there. And of course, the confirmation would be this area here, which is the 52, 53, which I was looking at, sorry, earlier on. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I feel we need to go to. Of course, now that we've come around this area, we might battle around a little bit. But the question is it looking good? Actually, no. Earlier on, I wrote Costana. He asked me, is the market going down, up or down? And I said down, and you can see how we've reacted on the daily as well. We're actually coming down. So yes, we saw a nice little pump. The bulls are trying, or probably not even bulls, but someone's trying their best. But sadly, it's not working out in anyone's favor. I mean, you don't fight a market that wants to go down. What you do, you embrace it and understand where I'm coming from, and you'll see a bigger picture about all of this. So we're going to connect everything. What I'm showing you now, what we've got in the entire market, and we're going to connect the stock markets as well, but in a very different way to how you might see it normally. Costana asked me something. Down on Crow, but I will hold Grandma's back. We'll talk about Crow as well, because I believe somebody else asked me to talk about Crow as well. And we're going to talk about it, yeah? Not to worry. So this is what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. And now you know very well, those of you who follow me on this channel, you know very well why I follow Bitcoin more than anything else. Because ultimately, to see where the market is right now, there's only two currencies you should be following. Number one is a cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. It's the king, it's the leader. Wherever it goes, the market follows. All right. So it might lead, and then everything else will follow along. So remember this. This is not deniable. You have to accept this. And then the other currency is USD. So again, you see how we're connecting all the dots, right? So you got to observe what USD is also doing. So that's what we're looking at. Anyway, for me, I have updated some of the stuff on my other chart, and I have shared this link with you guys. I've updated a few things, and the only thing I did here was buy target zone, probable. So I said there's a probability we might come to this $20,000. If we do, that should be a great area to pick it up. And what are we basing this on? We're just basing this on this. We might wick down. Nothing more, just wick down. Because so far, everything has been playing exactly how it should be to the patterns that we've had. We've even entered into this zone here where we believe that, okay, this could be a nice little threshold area for us to just pick up as long as we're still here. So what I want to show you here is if we can bounce on the bottom of this light blue area, which is around 35K, that we're still in a bull market. How insane is that? We're actually still inside a bull market. This does not invalidate anything. The invalidation for this market would be if we come around this area and fall below. So you have to look at this on a macro level. This is on a monthly, and you can see what I'm talking about. Yes, we might come down, but that's not bearish. Okay, it's not a bear market, right? So even though we could possibly come down all the way down here, it's not a bear market. A bear market is when we've come down here and we've decided to go and touch these zones here. So when we're talking about these zones, let me switch off the drawings and show you the zones I'm talking about. And we have been playing pretty much exactly accurate to how we've said the market will do that. So the area we're looking at is this white area here, this white line here, and it's been going up every month, which is good. Currently we're seeing a 33,000 on a monthly. Of course, if we change this, then we start seeing a slightly lower numbers as well. And so far, I mean, look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of full bearishness. We should not be resistance. As the Borg will say, resistance is futile. Okay, so we should not resist this. In fact, what we should be doing is be ready to bounce around here, pick it up, and then we can carry on, and we might hover around here for 6 months, maybe a year, maybe a little longer, and then we start the rally again. Okay, so that's what we should be looking at. Now, I want to show you one other chart as well, which does have this without the other drama. So, not this one. This we're going to get to. Okay, so I have this chart here. You can see the total market cap here. And I marked something here. I marked the top, which is around November. So you can see the top here around November. So if we go here, and if I just open this up just for the sake of it, so you can see the total market cap. We had the top here approximately November. That's all I want you to focus on, November. And I want you to see how the market started coming down. It's been trending down ever since then, right? So what we know is the market has been going this direction ever since then. Okay, there is no denying this. That's what's been happening. Of course, we've been hitting support zones here and climbing up. This means that the market's not over, but it's been trending down. All right, simple as that. So we're still trending down. Now, what we want to do is we want to look at a very important chart, and I want to talk more about this, but let's just deep dive into this particular chart because I want to show you what happened on this particular one as well. So what you see here is the opposite. The market has been going up since November. So we see one going down since November and another one going up. And this is the dollar currency index. That's all you're looking at, just the dollar currency index. So you can see how I've plotted it. You can see up and down, right? So this one here, when this went up, this was going down, and then you can see a quick shift where the money is now starting to cycle. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this particular chart. All I did was just put a red in there, sorry. Let's get rid of this. So some of the things we see in the financial markets is money moving. When there's panic in the market, okay, that's what we look at. When there's panic in the market, you see something here which is quite fascinating. Whenever there's panic, people start going back to dollar. So that's the key here. You got to understand this. When there's panic, people go to dollar. When there's no panic, people, like, you know, it stabilizes. People are not putting their money into the dollar. They're keeping it into assets. They're investing. They're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So just a few stuff that I just kind of noted here. There's plenty more. Trust me, there's so many. Like before this, we had the war. right? We had the Vietnam War and all sorts of other stuff, and we've had many, many wars here. And this is back to 1967. You can see 67 here. If you go back, then of course we had the World War II, we had the World War One, and plenty of other crazy, crazy stuff, right? So we're not going too deep into all of that, but we just start here. This is when the gold standard went off, okay? And nobody realized anything. Everything is going so well, smooth. And you can see people are investing money because there's more money available, because now the Federal Reserve can print as much money as they want, giving more people more money. People are taking that money and investing the money. Okay, investing the money. While they're doing all of this, banks gave away so much money. And this is a story, so I'm just trying to narrate something here. That in 1980s, they ended up having a actual banking crisis where they needed a whole bunch of bailouts and everything because of what they did here. Again, people are feeling uncertain. They start going back into US dollar because you don't want to be putting your money into an asset. You know, they put it back into this. So we have this crazy, crazy situation here, which is known as the Big Bang. And again, people, when they start getting more confident, because this is the crash, when they're confident, they start coming back in with these money. They come back in and they invest. Same thing happens again, and then we have 2001 around this particular area where we have these other like situations around the world. People are uncertain, they go back into dollar. So whenever we see people going back into dollar, we see a spike. And that actually also correlates with inflation. So when things start to inflate, there seems to be more money coming out. And you know, when the inflation is over, you know, we have a complete reset, it comes back down again. So we see this over and over again, right? And yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. So here we have a brief one, but this was the worst one here. So it's been a long time for us. I mean, we can just say if we wanted to look at the lowest point or probably the highest point, that was about 20 years ago. So from 20 years ago, we've come down here now and we're starting to spike. Now, this is all to do with inflation, and what you're seeing here is the spikes, right? How money is leaving. Inflation is going up, percentage is going up, and money's leaving. And today, $1 is actually worth 103 because of how much dollar is being bought. So just like Bitcoin, when you start buying it on the exchanges, buying more and more and more, Bitcoin value goes up. We have a problem here. A dollar is a dollar, but a dollar today is 103. How insane is that? And that's what's happening right now. I mean, at one stage, if you start looking at the peaks, you can see how a dollar went to $1.20. You know, a dollar here, for example, went to $1.65. This is what happens. You have too much money. This is what's going to happen because money's being held and money's not doing anything. It's not going out there. That's what happens. This is how inflation works, sadly, you know, and this is just my opinion, how I see things. So I'm seeing this, and then I go back to my index chart and I see this, and I'm saying something's not right. A lot of money from a lot of institutions, yes, they're probably in crypto, but not as we think they are. They're actually sitting in USD, and I'm one of those as well, actually. I prefer to be in stable coins. Right now, knowing that the market is uncertain and crypto market could crash easily another 20-30%. If that's going to happen, then by all means, I'll pick it up 20-30% cheaper. But I'm just following the money, if that makes sense. Now, while we're on the subject of money, let's talk about crypto.com. So crypto.com recently, yesterday, announced all over Twitter, everywhere, social network, and Costana actually brought the news to me. I wasn't looking at that time. And he said, the crypto.com are going to be slashing their rewards in half, technically, right? And so far, up to now, there's so many conspiracies and so many theories out there, to be honest. Nobody actually knows why. Because crypto.com just announced it, but never explained why. So obviously, because they're doing this, a lot of people are annoyed. A lot of people are not forward thinking. And what they've done is they've started to dump their coins. So we had a dump of 17% in a whole day. So it's been dumping. It's been dumping quite hard, I would say. Let's have a look at Crow on a chart. with our charts. Let's switch off a few bits because it's going to be tough to see any of this. Right, let's do this. So, Crow. So let's just look at this one. This one's going to be a little bit more healthy. So this is what's been happening with Crow because of how annoyed people are. Because a lot of people are saying the only utility that Crow provided was to get their card, lock up your coins, earn some interest, and then obviously spend that interest. So a lot of people, locked up a lot of money. I mean, the higher tier cards, $400,000 worth of Crypto.com was locked up, which incentivized Crypto.com as well because it took their coins offline technically, right? It was just locked, but it wasn't in circulation, and that had the value proposition. But now, if more and more coins are going to come and flood the market, well, there's no value proposition there anymore. So that's what a lot of people are thinking. But I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking this is a institution. This is highly regulated. And this is probably doing this. This is probably trying to hedge themselves for what's about to come. I think they also feel that there's a crash coming, a correction is coming. Once the correction comes, then they can reset. And I think that's what they want to do. So they can't be giving away high rewards right now. They'd rather slash those rewards, keep some of that in USD. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people are going to do, because a lot of institutions right now are thinking about keeping Bitcoin on their balance books. Not Crow, not Ethereum. Some of them do. But the point is not everybody wants anything from second best. So they want Bitcoin, they want Ethereum, nothing else. So if that's what institutions want as a hedge against the inflation, against what's about to come, against a financial crisis, against a global recession, by the way, because if this thing keeps on going up, we are expecting a global recession. And the only way you can fix a global recession is let the recession happen. That's crazy, right? The only way you can fix it is let it break. It has to break for it to reset. Because when everybody starts pumping their money into banks and this and that, and when everything crashes, no one's borrowing, no one's lending, nobody gives a damn, no one wants to invest, what do? They've got to break the whole system and then redo it again. So that's beneficial. It's a hard way of looking at things, but actually the only way a recession can be fixed is to let it go out of control, break the damn thing, and then bring it back again. So that's what's going on, and I think all of this plays into what Crow is doing as well. So I believe Crypto.com is just following that trend because they can see that the market is going to go down, and when it does, it's going to be pretty crazy. It doesn't matter how many pumps they do. But I've also got a feeling that they're going to come up with something new. You don't just become such a big company, in a very short period of time, and then all of a sudden just let it go down the drain. You don't do that. There's other agenda, because remember, they also have the Formula One contract and a few other contracts in place. That all costs money. That's all investment. So I think they're thinking in a macro perspective. They're looking at things on a longer term. And whatever they're doing right now, yes, older users will be losing benefits, but I've got a feeling they're going to be coming out something new. So keep an eye out for it. It wasn't when they went to Kronos, it wasn't as great, but Kronos gives them the opportunity to be decentralized. That's another thing I have to mention as well. So we won't know, because actually, unless Crypto.com admits why they did it, nobody can really tell. We can only theorize, and we can only have a conspiracy. Other than that, nothing else. So I won't really go down that route. So I hope you understand that I've got a feeling they're thinking in the macro term. Right. While we're on the subject, we might as well look at Ethereum. We might as well look at Ethereum and what Ethereum is doing. So pretty similar compared to BTC. I don't see any difference. I will still track BTC over Ethereum and observe the market this particular way, because whatever what do you call this, BTC does, Ethereum's going to do the same. So there's no point us looking at anything else and saying, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. No, it doesn't matter. Look, even the total market cap is reacting the exact same way as BTC and Ethereum. So it's no point. I mean, I do have something here. Give me a second. Yeah, so if you look here, I'm tracking the total market cap, Ethereum, with the Ethereum, without the Ethereum, with the Ethereum and BTC, and without the Ethereum and BTC. But what you see here is this whole thing here looks exactly the same, guys. It looks exactly the same. The only thing that looks different is the dollar. So more and more people are going into physical dollar, and we can see the same difference in cryptocurrencies as well. We see a lot of people going into USD peg coins. So that's what's happening over there. But Costana, when we're talking about crypto.com, I'm personally holding on to whatever I've got. I will let it run out. However, I want to make sure everybody understands this very clearly. Please do understand and listen carefully. My strategy of entering a coin in a bear market that I believe will do something in a bull market, when it does, I always take my initial investment out. So when it comes to a coin like crypto.com, I've taken my initial investment out long ago. It doesn't owe me anything. That's crypto.com. The only coin that actually still owes me is BTC. Okay? Every other coin I have ever owned does not owe me any money. I just wanted to clear this, completely understand that my strategy, I don't just preach it, I literally follow it to the last T. I do it every single time. I'm not in it for 100x, 200x, 500x. I don't care. The moment I get an opportunity to take my initial out, I live happy, I breathe easy, no regrets. Yes, I could have made a lot more, but my initial investment's back. Everything else that I make is a bonus, so I really don't lose anything. I see someone else is here. I see Robbie, my man, is back. Me too, and DCA later. What's up, my brother? I'm all good, my brother. Nice for you to come over. Thank you very much. Yes, no, I'm doing Monday streams. So I've got a little bit of free time. Talking about free time, I've literally got 30 minutes, and then I've got a meeting. So yeah, it's just been non-stop meetings. Last night I was having meetings until about 5 in the morning. So yeah, it was a long night. I think it was like about 20-hour day yesterday. But yeah, non-stop. You gotta constantly keep at it. I mean, some of the stuff that I do, some of the people that I talk to, and you know what? Sometimes it's nothing. We're not physically doing anything, but it's good to share knowledge. And that's what we do. Sometimes we just share knowledge, come up with brand new concepts, brand new ideas. Some of these concepts we might not do for another 20 years, but it's still good to talk about it. So that's what we do. But yeah, that's what we do. It's pretty crazy, you know, the market's reacting the way they do, doing what they do. But yeah. Okay. Right, so I'm not going to look at the RSI, stochastic RSI. I mean, there's no point. If we did start looking at them, you can see this is on a daily. It looks like it wants to reset. There's nothing bullish about that. It's just a market signal, nothing more. If you start looking at the higher time frame, you can see the market wants to still calm down. So that's where you should be focusing your energy, the higher time frame, not micro level. Macro. You can see here we're coming to do the reset, which is perfect actually. In fact, if we came back and touched this particular level on the stochastic RSI on the 2-week or even the monthly, right? It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. That would be the perfect zone for us to start bouncing from. So yeah, keep an eye. As I said, look, right now there's no point being how would I say this actually? Because there is a point. When the market is crying and bearish, you should be happy. But of course, we have to have a strategy, and our strategy tells us that when the market bleeds, we should be super bullish. If this market can come to any one of these points here, and I'll show you this, right? If this market could come down to any one of these points that we have marked up already, we should be super bullish, because end of the day, this is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity. And why do I say once in a lifetime? It's happened many times before, and it happens with every generation. So what I mean by a generation in crypto is every bull run brings in new people, right? So you become that generation. So for example, people who are in the 2017 generation, right? They may have still remained. That's one generation. And currently the 2020, there's another generation. So let's just put it that way. You know, we have this generational thing where new people coming. And when they do, they invest. A lot of people lose money. A lot of people make money. But the opportunities that you get around this green zone, this green area here that I have marked up for you, they're once in a lifetime. Look, these guys have never got that chance again, because the next time it was higher. And that's what I mean by a once in a lifetime. So, you know, you're part of this generation if you've entered. You're part of this generation if you've entered. And that's what's about to happen right now down here, where a new generation is about to be born, if that makes sense. So yeah, pretty crazy, but that's how I just want to say it. But just look at this and you'll understand what all of this means. I mean, take a screenshot if you want, because historically we have seen certain events, and we've seen the dollar currency start shooting up, and that only happens when people are panicking. That only happens just before a massive recession, right? And we only find out too late. So again, we're thinking very macro. We're looking at it on a macro perspective, and we're saying, look, this was the signal that things are about to get messy. But we only found out officially when it got messy, right? So you find out too late. And this area here, when we're seeing a W starting to form here, so what I'm seeing is a W starting to form here. I'm seeing this, one second, let me change this. So what we're seeing is this W starting to form here, and that is what makes me be a little bit concerned, saying, okay, hold on, we see this W starting to form here. What's going to happen? Are we going to go and break this top line here? And if we do, are we going to start making higher highs? And if we start doing this, we are just repeating something like this. And that means this will impact the entire global market, especially the stock markets, more than anything else, the housing market, the banking, the finance, more than anything else. However, this could be potentially beneficial for us if we actually look at this in a complete different way, where crypto could benefit us. So the first time Bitcoin came in was around here, 2008. Let me zoom into this to show you. This is just rough guide, but 2008 is when BTC came in. We're going to move over to 2011. Look at this. Look at this. 2011, right? When we had our first bull market. Where was this? This was down. After the bull market, look how it started climbing up, right? And you keep on seeing this, observing this, how each round, when it was low, where we were in the market, and then when it started pumping, at that point where we were. So you start seeing this correlation, this pattern constantly being formed. It's like, okay, so this was down when we were up. That's a pattern, right? You know, and here I've demonstrated this on this live chart. So this is a live chart. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this just for now. Don't worry, I've saved it, so it's okay. I won't lose anything. Look, we peak. This one starts dumping. So what we're looking at, our peak here, and we start dumping here, right? And then once we come back here, we're still dumping, but this is now, it's got the momentum, the market momentum, and it's starting to move forward. You know, people are not putting their money into crypto or anything like this, or assets or investments right now, because technically crypto is an investment. So that's what it is. So just be cautious. That's what I'm saying. But be excited at the same time. Be excited because, and this is not a financial advice, obviously. So I just had to add this on. This is not a financial advice. You know, we are always excited only for one specific reason, and that is because when this market tends to move, it moves quite fast, right? It moves very fast. It doesn't care, right? I mean, this is definitely the right word to use. It absolutely does not care about what people think or anything like that. It just goes on a complete rampage and it just does its thing. And so far, it's gonna do its thing. It's no other, there's no other way to put it. This was the only opportunity we had to start moving back up again. And all we had to do is invalidate this area here, and we were off to the races. But sadly, that didn't happen, you know. So instead, we started trending down. And this has become a bigger pattern of an M pattern, and an M pattern always goes down. So we're going to break down. The only moment for us to find out whether we hold or not would be around this $34,000, as I mentioned earlier on as well. So this is a pattern. Again, take a screenshot if you want. This is the pattern we're looking at, and you can see this pattern is going to break down. And this is on a daily. Of course, if you put it on a weekly, you'll see how the pattern is playing. It is a big pattern. I mean, for us to get back to here and invalidate this, it's a long way, guys. It's a big ask. It's a big ask. But this is more of an M pattern. An M pattern is going to, sadly, and you can see the M pattern here. Look. Okay. It's going to, you know, we've had our W. Now we've got our M. So this is part of the M. And it is going to come down. And if it does, we've got to embrace it. We've got to be bullish, and we're going to take it there. Not here, not anywhere else. Stay calm, stay patient. It's like, okay, we're going to expect this. We have our scenarios, and we're going to place these hypothetical orders to pick it up at a particular rate. However, one thing I wanted to add on to this as well, guys, before I leave, and I am going to leave very soon. I wanted to add one particular thing here. You know, while we get, you know, in this market, a lot of people get hyped up emotionally and everything as well, and be like, oh, this market's doing this, this market's doing that, oh my god, it's going up, it's too volatile. Yes, it is. But sometimes during this whole emotional roller coaster of being in the market, people stop looking at the bigger picture. You know, sometimes it's good to just switch off, just shut down your devices, your websites, or whatever. Just don't look at it. Don't look at it. And to practice this, I switched off. You know, as you, Robbie, as you mentioned that I'm back, I've always been here. But I didn't want to do a video because what's the point? Because I'm going to come here and I'm going to mess with your emotion. That's not me. I don't want to mess with your emotion. I'd rather spend that time in building, planning, and doing all sorts of other stuff, right? And I'm not going to talk too much about, well, I'm going to talk anything about paradexes. All I'm going to say is still work is going on, okay? But when it's ready, it will be ready. I will announce it to everybody. I'll let everyone know what's going on. And of course, a lot of people who have been there right from the beginning, I am giving you guys an exclusive opportunity to be part of it. Not as an investor, because we are not going to be selling the token directly to anybody. We don't want to fall in the securities situation. So our token is going to be a utility token, nothing to do with securities. But I am giving opportunities, but that's only a one-off thing. I won't really say too much. But if you know me and you're private, then you talk to me. If not, then it's not for the public. That's what I want to say. And for the public to get these kind of benefits, and of course they can. By the way, it's equal, it's free for everybody. But I'm giving priority to the people I know. And then I'm going to open up for the public. And even then, you have to be whitelisted to be part of this initial launch phase. And then, of course, when we move into the public phase, that's a different story. So, yeah, work is still being done. So let's see where we go from there. But yeah, right now, also, Costana, I wanted to say something to you as well, my brother. When we're talking about DCA and this and that, as long as you've taken your initial out, don't be over bullish on any project. It's cool to diversify yourself. So look at some of the projects which have been really, really up, performing really well, and now currently down. Start thinking about those. So I'll give you a good example. Some of the projects, and this is not a financial advice, this is just what I'm doing myself. This is my personal portfolio, so please don't copy me or do whatever you want, but don't hold me accountable. In my personal portfolio, I have a few coins with the largest percentage of holding. So I'm going to leave BTC and Ethereum out of this list because they are the largest. So there's no point even getting them involved in this. But other coins that I'm holding large percentage of, okay, and there's big reasons behind them. There's too many to list for the parachains auction. So on the parachains auctions, anything and everything, I just, you know, got myself involved in all of them. I don't care how many there is. I just got myself involved in all of them. So all my Polkadot tokens are actually locked up and earning me some of those parachain tokens. And I'm bullish on all of them. But none of those tokens are going to be ready until 2023, 2024. So think about what I'm about to tell you, 2024. So this is all macro perspective. So for me to get involved in Polkadot way back when, right, 2017, 2018, I can't remember when I first got involved. I held it. I looked at the roadmap. I was patient with it. When the roadmap was released, when they said they're going to do the parachains, I got hyper excited. Hyper excited. I sat on it. The price went up double, triple, to what I expected. I could have easily come out. I didn't. I said, no, I'm going to hold on to it because I know this is going to be worth a lot more. And that belief and that faith held, the way I held it has benefited, because now not only do I have Polka, I have maybe about another 20 different coins that I got all completely for free. And then, of course, those coins, when they launch in 2023 or 2024, they're going to have their own valuation. So that's more benefit. Leave that aside. Just 2024, focus on that. We have a Bitcoin halvening in 2024. We also have another Ethereum halvening around that time. I can't put my number on it or my finger on what date it is, but there is another one happening around that time. So we have an Ethereum halvening. We have a Bitcoin halvening around that specific time. So anything we do now, we're not doing it for today. I don't care if we have a bull run tomorrow and BTC shoots up to 500k. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for 2024. Okay, so anything I'm going to be picking is 2024. So some of the coins that I'm picking up on, for example, I had a whole bunch of Solana. I dumped a whole bunch of them. I bought them back at cheap, but I'm not happy. I think they can go even lower. So I'm going to wait for Solana to go even lower. I picked some up. Again, I picked it up with my profits only, nothing else. Cardano, I want to get some more Cardano. Solana, Cardano, I'll just give you the list, it's easier. Solana, Cardano, Ethereum. I want to get more Ethereum. Luna. What else is it? Where is it? What's the other coins? Oh, I told you about the Polkadot coins, so that's a different story. Also want to get more Polkadot as well. And there's a few others as well, a few other small scale. I can't remember off the top of my head now. But the point is those are the coins I'm looking at. So I have about 15, 20 different coins that I'm really super bullish in getting as many as possible now. Some of them have zero value. They're not even listed. Can you believe that? Some of those coins do not even have any single valuation to them at all. But I'm bullish on them. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it is. Sometimes you've got to take that opportunity. In fact, the person I'm about to go to a meeting in the next 15 minutes, he's launching his own blockchain. And don't worry, he's not going to come to the show. He's a bit of an anonymous guy. But they're launching their own blockchain. And I got the perfect opportunity to be a part of that blockchain. I said, look, I want to go in there and I want to play around. So I'm going to play around. So it's going to be my little playground. It's his playground. I'm going to go and play a little bit as well. But these are opportunities. This was happening because a lot of people are trying to do things in a complete different way, where they're trying to innovate things in a whole different way, and blockchains are getting better and better. The codes are getting much better. Talking about that, ApeCoin, I'm not sure if you heard what happened with ApeCoin. So they managed to crash Ethereum. Wow. That wasn't the reason. The reason was bad code. The coding was done in such a bad way. It was rushed, unprofessional. So we know that Bored Ape Club, they made their money by accident, okay? And then they became a company. They have no idea how to do the things. They have no idea about research and development. So they just rushed into it, got partnered up with Pantera Capital, whatnot, this, that, got a whole bunch of money, went into development quickly, fast, and created bad code, which ended up losing people money, paying a whole bunch of gas, which just got burnt. So it was useless, right? Probably benefiting Ethereum in some form or another, but ultimately broke down Ethereum as well, which is now eyes are on Ethereum, saying, well, hold on, is Ethereum legit or not? It is, in my opinion, but we talk this for another day. It's a subject for another day. But they broke the system. They broke the system with bad coding. And this is one of the things. It's like a lot of people ask me when paradexes, when paradexes, when paradexes, and I just say to them, I said, when it's ready, when it's because it's some of these things people have to understand. We can launch today, but just launching doesn't give any utility to it. Where's all the things or everything else that is required for the utility? So you have to create that as well. So you create all the sections first, and then you add the liquidity or the utility into it. So now these things function and it produces something or rewards something or gives something. So there's an if this, then that, kind of a thing. So if this happens, then that will happen. And we need to program this into it. Most of the stuff that we do are done on pen and paper. No joke, pen and paper, because you'd rather break something on pen and paper before you go onto the testnet. Once you're on the testnet, yeah, fine, you're just doing a duplicate, you're testing your codes. But if the theory doesn't work, what's the point writing code? So now ApeCoin wants to go and do its own blockchain. Again, very, how would I say this? In my opinion, I think they're doing an amateur move. They shouldn't be jumping onto a blockchain right now. If they don't know how to create proper code, or wonder how they're going to create a blockchain. That might be a bit of a situation, but I'm not sure. I was observing them yesterday anyway. I did see some land. In fact, I was talking to the friend who's creating the blockchain. We were talking to each other, and I saw the land going on sale, and some of the land were okay, actually. They were going for like $1,000, $2,000, some of the first ones. And then I saw them coming back to the market and selling for 5,000, 6,000. So some guys sat on OpenSea, literally buying and selling the land, first hand, second hand, third hand. They did all right. So good luck to those guys who made some money. But sadly, some guys ended up paying some crazy fees. I think there's a rumor, I haven't confirmed yet. Someone paid like $300,000 in fees for what, 6K land? Seriously, seriously. But that's the reality. That's what's happened to this world. Everyone wants to buy a piece of land in a metaverse or something, because yeah, they are highly sought after. I have spoken to a few people regarding metaverse, and I can tell you it's not easy. It is not easy. It's not as it sounds. I mean, you can do some sort of a crazy stuff, like almost fake, but the real thing, it's not easy. I can tell you that. But anyway, we'll get there at some stage, because we do have metaverse in the pipeline, but there's no promises whether it's going to be done or not. And it's going to be an extra. So there's going to be base functions of what paradexes does. So paradexes as a platform, the token as a utility, there are certain things they have to do. That's it. Those are the primary functions of paradexes. However, we will also enable secondary functions, more of a supplementary service, right? Which help the community or kind of create a fund or some sort of an economy or something. And that could involve things like a game, maybe a metaverse, maybe a digital meetup location or something. You never know. Could be anything, right? Your imagination is the only limit that you have. So a lot of things can be done this particular way, and those are going to be secondary. So they are not primary functions at all. So we are focusing more on the primary than the secondary stuff. Because secondary stuff is just fun, all right? We want to have fun. That's what we want to do. We want to create a community and have fun, and then move forward from there. So yeah, other than that, guys, if you have any questions, fire away. Fire away. And let me have a look at the chart. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Any questions, guys? Thank you, Costana. Thank you. So I don't know, Costana, if you're looking at this chart, this is the index chart for the entire global cryptocurrency market cap, and you've probably noticed I did something here, just drew a pattern. Just wanted to draw a pattern to see when these two lines meet up. So this is telling me the 50 week and the 200 week. When do we expect it to meet up? Which means a golden cross, the next hyperparabolic bull run. This is not 100% confirmed, just a theory. And you can see the date down here. It says around December, which is in line with the parachain auctions that we have from Polkadot. So just want to kind of just touch base on that before I leave. Who else is here? DB, nice to see you do a live show today. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for being here, like a ninja, silently. Just my thoughts, my brother. Just my thoughts, nothing else. You know, because listen, when I'm looking at the market, I don't want to see the market for what it's going to do tomorrow. That's a trade market. If I want to know if it's going to pump tomorrow, if it's going to dump tomorrow, then that's me trying to open a trade. I mean, I know, and this is not a joke. Okay, this is absolutely not a joke, believe it or not. So the last few weeks, when I started talking about how we are bearish, okay, so I've been talking to people and telling people, look, I'm a bit bearish. I feel this market's going to go down. I actually know a few boys who literally shorted this market. They've been trading on what I've said, and I'm not giving anybody a signal, not a financial advisor, nothing like that. But they still decided, they said, okay, if he's saying it's going to go down, we're going to trade that. And they've set up a good stop loss and everything, and they've traded this. Brilliant. Good luck to them. All right. That's what they've been doing. So if I wanted to, I could short it, but I'm not a trader. I mean, maybe once a year, but this is not the one. Shorting the market isn't going to make me most amount of money. I'll tell you what's going to make me most amount of money when I get another opportunity similar to this area here. Okay, when I get another opportunity to open a trade around a zone like this. Okay, let me just switch off a few of these drawings, guys. Sorry. That's fine. So when I get another opportunity to trade around a zone like this and then do this long trade for like a year, 2 year, that's the kind of opportunity I'll be looking for. So yes, am I going to open a trade very soon? Yes, but not around these levels. I'll be waiting to open a trade around these levels and do a massive long with a low leverage, so I can be in it for, you know, a year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever. You know, I want to play the market and see where this market takes me. I don't want to be just in the market for a short while, get wrecked and this and that. No, that's what normal traders do. Daily signals are for trading. Simple. Yeah, there's nothing else I could say. Yeah, daily signals are for trading, nothing else. I don't do daily. I'm thinking years ahead. You know, like I was talking to someone the other day and he was like, what's your vision? What's your mission and your vision regarding paradexes? And he says, what's your mission? So my mission is to be a part of Web3 Foundation, create something in order to pave the way for Web4 at some stage. He was like, what do you mean? Web4 doesn't exist. I'm like, I know. But what says we can't have Web3 coming a decade later or maybe 2 decades later, so 20 years later? He said, interesting. So you're forward thinking. I said, yeah, that's the mission. He said, what's your vision? I said, the vision is to build a whole ecosystem. You know, in itself, when you enter this ecosystem, you should have suits of everything. So you don't have to go to multiple locations, create this one-stop location for everything. Do you know what I mean? That's the vision. The vision is why do I have to go to 5 different protocols and do 5 different things? Why can't I bring the protocols to me, right? And like paradexes, the actual platform, and via paradexes interact with all of those functions. I mean, that's insane. Think about that. Think about that. I mean, go to market. I'll give you a good example. So I don't know. I think a few of you guys, I must have spoken to a few of you guys regarding the exchange. So there's an exchange function, more of a centralized type of an exchange function, already done. It's already done. I can go to market tomorrow with it, but it's not connected with paradexes. That's the fact. The paradex is a decentralized protocol. I want to keep it as decentralized as possible. The centralized version of the exchange, that's got everything, P2P, sharing, buying, market, this, that. Oh my God, it's got everything. It's put it this way, it doesn't have the liquidity of Binance, but it's Binance. And I'm not giving you a clue or anything. I'm not saying it is Binance. I'm saying it's looks, feels, does everything the same as Binance. We even went one step further. I've even created demo accounts. So there's demo accounts there for people to go in and do whatnot, and pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, it's already there. It's already connected. It's my little playground. I haven't made it public yet, but obviously because of safety reasons, security reasons, and regulations. But maybe in the future I will. But it's there. I've got a already working thing. And of course, the plan is at some stage to connect the decentralized section to the centralized exchange and have them running simultaneously, so one will benefit the other. And when I'm talking about benefit, we're talking about AMM, like automatic market making, high stake yield farming, staking, all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, idea is, if someone can do it on their platform or their protocol, why can't we integrate that into our protocol? Because it's doable. So that's the idea. And I said, for paradexes to set its foundation, it will take about 10 years, at least a decade, to develop and build something. And it won't be perfect. To be perfect, to do everything, to finally reach the goal, take another decade. So it's not a small project, and the vision is not a small vision. My mission and vision is not a small mission and vision. It's a 20-year plan. 20 years, guys. 20 freaking years. Sometimes when I think about the time frame, it worries me. It does worry me. And, we know a lot of guys don't think that far in the crypto sphere, especially because, you don't know what's around the corner. Is your project going to be successful or not? But I think too many people worry about that because they worry about the money. Here, we're not worried about the money. We are not interested in the money. So that changes everything. We're trying to innovate. That's what we're trying to do. Innovate. We're not going to reinvent the wheel, but we're going to make sure the wheel turns the right way. We're going to make sure it goes the right direction. We're going to make sure it doesn't get impacted by potholes and this and that. It's not going to be smooth, but we're going to plan to make it as smooth. That's the key here. So, yeah, guys, if you're new to the channel, smash that like button, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Join our Discord community. That's where you can talk to me, even though I'm not there all the time. I will be full-time available once we launch paradexes. We do have a server for paradexes as well. Again, people who are in my private circles, including Discord and other groups and this and that, I will share the invitation to you guys as a priority for being part of this community and for sticking with me for so long, and especially being patient, because I know a lot of the channels, they grow and they're out there punching out content every single day. Not me. I'm here once a week whenever I feel like it, sometimes even twice a day, But the reason is because I'm not here for the money. I'm here to give you actual information, just to keep you thinking ahead, macro level. So you can have a cool head, stay calm, and navigate the market the perfect way. And of course, we're building something together. That's a different story. So other than that, guys, I'm not going to make this any longer. I want to go and have some dinner. It's 8 p.m. I've got to go, guys. So I'm going to leave you. I need to get to my meeting, and I'll talk to you another time when I'm on live. I'll message everyone on Discord. Adios, my amigos. Thank you very much.